Okay, I want you to try a little thought experiment with me. If you're driving, obviously keep your eyes on the road, but just engage your imagination for a minute.
All right, I'm with you.
You're fast asleep. I mean, the deepest, most vivid dream you've ever had. And suddenly the creator of the universe appears, right there at the foot of your bed.
That is quite the wake-up call.
Definitely.
Oh.
And he makes you an offer, a genuine cosmic blank check. He looks at you and says, ask something of me and I will give it to you.
Anything.
Anything. No limits, no fine print. What's the very first thing that flies out of your mouth?
Oh, that is the ultimate pressure test, isn't it? It strips away all the polite answers and just reveals what your heart is actually clinging to.
Exactly. And I think if most of us are being totally honest, we're not asking for world peace in that first split second. We'd blurt out something about money.
Or perfect health, maybe. Or, just to guarantee our kids will be okay.
Right. Or maybe just, can I please sleep for another 3 hours?
Yeah, that one too. But today, we're diving into a stack of sources that centers around that exact high-stakes question.
We've got a really fascinating lineup. A reading from 1 Kings with a young, terrified King Solomon.
Then a passage from Mark's gospel about Jesus and his apostles, who were just completely exhausted.
And we're tying it all together with Psalm 119 and a theological reflection called The Compassion of the Good Shepherd.
And what's so interesting here is that while these texts are, centuries apart, they're telling two sides of the same story.
Yeah.
Our mission today is to explore this idea of the shepherd.
But not the greeting card version. We're not talking fluffy sheep and green hills.
No, we are looking at the high-pressure version.
Yeah.
We have a young king stepping into absolute power,
Yeah.
but he feels, completely inadequate.
And on the other hand, a teacher just trying to find one quiet moment in the middle of chaos.
And here's the aha moment to look out for. Both stories hinge on this massive interruption of personal desire.
One guy gives up the chance for wealth and security.
And the other gives up the chance for just basic rest. And they both do it for the same reason. They prioritize having an understanding heart.
It's a really powerful idea. It suggests that leadership, that true shepherding, isn't about what you get for yourself.
It's about how you see the needs of the people around you.
So let's go back to that dream scenario. Because for one guy in history, this wasn't a hypothetical. It actually happened.
Okay, let's unpack this. We're in the first book of Kings, chapter 3.
Uh-huh.
The setting is Gibeon.
And the setting is everything here, right? Why Gibeon? You'd expect Jerusalem.
Exactly. But at this point in history, the great temple hasn't been built yet. So Gibeon is the most renowned high place. It's sort of the temporary religious center.
And Solomon, who's just taken over from his father David, is taking this very seriously.
Unbelievably seriously. The text says he offered 1,000 burnt offerings on the altar there.
Just pause on that for a second. 1,000. The logistics of that alone.
I mean, it's not a quiet little ceremony. A burnt offering involves the animal, the fire, the smoke. It's a sensory overload.
To do 1,000 of them, that would take days.
Days. It's this massive, smoky, intense display of devotion. It tells you Solomon isn't just going through the motions. He's desperate. He is going all in.
And it's in that context, exhausted from the rituals, that the Lord appears in the dream and asks that question.
Ask something of me and I will give it to you.
Now, Solomon's a king. He's the son of the legendary King David. You'd expect some swagger here.
Right, like, God, give me a global empire, or give me a vault of gold that never runs out.
Or at the very least, make sure nobody tries to assassinate me. Self-preservation.
Precisely. But that is not what happens. And this is where the vulnerability is so striking. He starts by acknowledging his father, David, and his upright heart.
But then he looks at himself and he just admits it. He says, I am a mere youth, not knowing at all how to act.
Not knowing at all how to act. Can you imagine a world leader today saying, hey, everyone, just so you know, I have no idea what I'm doing?
The markets would crash instantly. Yep. But here, in this private moment, it's just radically honest.
And he says he's governing a people so vast that it cannot be numbered. He feels completely overwhelmed by the responsibility. He's drowning.
So the blank check is on the table. He could ask for a team of experts, a bigger army, but he asks for something internal.
He asks for an understanding heart. Specifically, he says, give your servant, therefore, an understanding heart to judge your people and to distinguish right from wrong.
Okay, let's dig into that phrase, understanding heart. In English, it sounds nice, maybe a bit sentimental.
It's much deeper than that. The original Hebrew is lev shemiah.
Yeah.
And it literally translates to a listening heart.
A listening heart. That's so different from just being smart.
Very different. He's not asking for a high IQ. He's not asking for, a database of laws to be downloaded into his brain. He's asking for a sensory tool.
The ability to actually hear the truth.
To discern the truth in a noisy, complicated world, he realizes the core of leadership isn't projecting power. It's being able to tell right from wrong.
So he's asking for the tools to do the job, not the rewards of the job.
That's the perfect way to put it. And the text says God was pleased with this.
Deeply pleased. And look at how God responds. He actually lists the things Solomon didn't ask for.
He says, because you have asked for this, not for a long life for yourself, nor for riches.
Nor for the life of your enemies. That last one is really interesting.
It stands out, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's so telling. For a new king back then, the first order of business was usually purging all your rivals.
Securing the throne.
Right. Most people in his shoes would have asked for their enemies to be eliminated. But he didn't ask for security or vengeance. He prioritized the people's welfare over his own safety.
And because he put wisdom first, the job over the perks, God gives him the blank check plus interest.
Exactly. God says, I give you a heart so wise that there has never been anyone like you. But then he adds, in addition, I give you what you have not asked for, such riches and glory.
It's the ultimate paradox, really. By letting go of the desire for riches, he ends up with them anyway.
But the order is crucial. The riches are the byproduct, not the goal. If he'd aimed for the riches, he might have lost the kingdom.
By aiming for wisdom, the rest followed. It just sets the bar for what a shepherd king is supposed to be.
It really does. And this connects so well to our second source, Psalm 119. It feels like it's written from the perspective of someone who actually has that kind of heart.
Absolutely. Psalm 119 is this huge meditation on God's law, his statutes.
And the psalmist asks, how shall a young man be faultless in his way?
Which is the same anxiety Solomon had. He called himself a mere youth. It's that same question, I'm young, how do I not mess this up?
Exactly. And the answer is, by keeping to your words. And there's a line here that links directly back to Solomon's choice.
In the way of your decrees I rejoice, as much as in all riches.
There it is again, the comparison to money.
It keeps coming up. The texts are trying to rewire how we think about value.
They're arguing that moral clarity, having those statutes as a guide, is a more valuable currency than gold. If you have the map, you're set. If you just have gold but no map, you're just a rich person who's lost.
And then there's that beautiful line, within my heart I treasure your promise.
Which brings us right back to the heart. Solomon wanted a listening heart. The psalmist treasures the promise in his heart. It's all about that internal character formation.
It is. But now we have to test that character. Because it's one thing to ask for a wise heart in a dream.
It's another thing entirely to keep that heart open when reality hits you in the face.
And that brings us to the Gospel of Mark. And the vibe here, it just shifts dramatically.
Oh, yeah. We are leaving the royal dream sequence and dropping into a very dusty, sweaty, exhausting reality.
Totally. The passage starts with the apostles returning to Jesus. They've been out on this mission and they are completely drained.
The detail here is so relatable. It says people were coming and going in great numbers and they had no opportunity even to eat.
We have all been there, that hangry state where you just need 5 minutes, but the emails keep coming, the phone keeps ringing.
You're in burnout territory. So Jesus, as their leader, sees this. He knows they're hitting a wall.
And he says to them, come away by yourselves to a deserted place and rest a while.
Which is just a crucial moment. He's validating their human limits. He's not a slave driver. He's inviting them on a retreat.
So they get in the boat, they push off from the shore. You can just imagine the relief. The noise is fading.
The cool breeze. They're thinking, finally, a nap. Some quiet.
But the plan fails. Spectacularly.
It really does. The text says people saw them leaving, and they hastened there on foot from all the towns.
Think about the geography of that. The apostles are taking a boat across the water, which is the shortcut.
The direct line.
And the crowd sees where the boat is headed and decides to run around the entire shoreline.
It's a desperate sprint. And not just a few people. It's a stampede from all the towns.
And they ran so fast that it says they arrived at the place before them.
That is the ultimate failed vacation. Imagine pulling your boat up to that deserted place.
And you see the exact same crowd you just left, standing on the beach, panting, just waiting for you.
It's a nightmare scenario for an introvert or, anyone. And this is the test of the understanding heart.
Because my first reaction would be frustration, annoyance.
Oh, I'd be furious. I'd be yelling, we're closed, read the sign, boundaries, people. We feel like we earned that break.
Right, but what does Jesus do? He gets off the boat, he sees that vast crowd, just like Solomon saw his vast people.
And his reaction. His heart was moved with pity for them.
Pity, not anger.
And the source is so specific about why he felt pity. It says, for they were like sheep without a shepherd.
And there it is. That's the connection.
That's the link back to Solomon.
Break that down for us.
Okay, so Solomon was terrified because he didn't know how to be a shepherd to his vast people. Jesus looks at this vast crowd, running around a lake, chaotic and desperate.
And he realizes they're acting that way precisely because they lack a shepherd.
Exactly. They aren't trying to be annoying. They're lost. They're frantic sheep.
So his instinct as the good shepherd just overrides his own need for rest.
It does. The reflection source we have points this out beautifully. It says, even in his desire for quiet, Jesus chooses mercy. He sees the immediate need, and he just steps into the gap.
And he doesn't just give them a quick pep talk and send them home. The text says he began to teach them many things.
Which takes time. That's not a 5-minute job. He committed to the work right there on the beach while he was tired and his friends were hungry.
Our reflection source has a great line about this. It says, true rest is found in a heart that shares Christ's compassion for others.
It kind of redefines rest, doesn't it? We think of rest as the absence of work.
But this suggests there's a deeper peace found in aligning your heart with compassion, even when it's exhausting.
It's a tension, though, because Jesus did invite them to rest. He cares about their limits.
Sure. So the lesson isn't never rest, burn yourself out.
No, but it's about a hierarchy of values. Rest is good. But the needs of the sheep, when they are literally panting on the shore in front of you, that takes precedence.
So if we pull all these threads together, Solomon and Jesus, what are we really looking at?
We're looking at two portraits of shepherding. Solomon becomes the model shepherd king by admitting he doesn't know enough. He empties himself of ego.
And Jesus acts as the good shepherd by emptying himself of his own comfort and his own time to serve the people.
Right. And there's a verse in our stack, the Alleluia verse from John 10, that bridges this perfectly. My sheep hear my voice. I know them, and they follow me.
Oh, that's good, because that explains why the crowd ran around the lake.
Exactly. Why did they run? Because they heard the voice. They recognized the shepherd. They knew that being near him was worth the run.
It really changes how you view interruptions, doesn't it?
Completely. It stops being about, why is this happening to me?
And starts being, who is this person in front of me? Which brings us to the question to do something from our source material.
It challenges us with this. Who around me today needs patience or guidance?
And how can I reflect that shepherding care in a concrete way?
And that's a tough question, because usually the person who needs patience is the person interrupting your schedule.
It's the coworker who stops by your desk when you're trying to leave. Your kid asking for homework help the second you sit down.
It's the vast crowd showing up at your quiet place. The challenge is to stop seeing them as obstacles and start seeing them as the sheep you're called to in that moment.
Even when you're tired.
Especially when you're tired. That's when the understanding heart is actually tested. Anyone can be patient when they're well-rested and fed. The real test is when you're hangry on the shore of the lake.
So to wrap this up, we've journeyed from Gibeon to that deserted shore. And the common thread is that true authority, true character, isn't shown in what we get for ourselves.
No, not Solomon's riches or the apostles' nap time. It's shown in how we respond to the needs of the people right in front of us.
It's shown in the understanding heart that chooses mercy over its own convenience. So here's a final thought to mull over.
Okay.
Solomon asked for wisdom and got riches as a bonus. The apostles sought rest but found work and a deeper purpose. Life rarely gives us exactly what we planned for.
That is the truth.
But if you were interrupted today by someone acting like a sheep without a shepherd, someone a little frantic, a little lost, would you see it as a nuisance? Or would you see it as the very moment your understanding heart was made for?
That's the question.
Thanks for diving deep with us today.
Thanks. See you next time.